Talk about low-budget flights. No food or movies? I'm out of here. I like running better. Welcome back, YouTube viewers, to another video. So, before we get into today's topic, I'd like to thank you all for my 100 subscribers. I like doing that 100 subscriber special a lot, and I'm very proud that I've been able to make it this far. Now, as for today's topic, some of my most popular videos are my Ninjago videos. Well, not the original ones I did, but my character analyses. The ones I did on Pythor and Moro, and those were very positive. But this one is not going to be positive. It is going to be very negative, as you can tell by the title. And it's a very unpopular opinion. I believe that Harumi is not just a bad villain for Ninjago, but Ninjago's absolute worst villain, the bottom of the barrel. Asphira is a better villain than Harumi, in my opinion. That's how much I hate Harumi. Now, I know after hearing that, you probably will click off this video, but hear me out. I'm going to give actual reasoning for why I hate Harumi. Starting with, that was his mistake, or her mistake, or whatever. Shapril's Productions viewers should understand that. Because yeah, Harumi is a twist villain. Oh boy, the 2010s sure had enough of those in animated projects, huh? And out of all these twist villains in 2010's animated project, let's think of the ones. Big Hero 6, Zootopia, Frozen, Coco, Incredibles 2. Those are the 5 off the top of my head I can think of. And how many of those are good? Approximately 1 of them. Oh, that already tells you everything we need to know. Harumi being a villain makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. There is no foreshadowing for her being the quiet one. So when she's revealed to be the quiet one, it feels like it exists just to be a twist. It's just there to shock and surprise you. But that's it. And once the surprise is gone, why do you care? Harumi only gets worse the more I rewatch the episodes that she's in, because the surprise goes from being a surprise to just being stupid and annoying. Also, her motivations make... Well, that's for later, but it just makes no sense. I've never heard anyone ask this. How did a 16-year-old, she's about 16, a teenage girl, find people for a biker gang, assemble a super strong, powerful biker gang with people like Ultraviolet and Kilo, get Mr. E? How was he built? Where was she able to build him? How did she learn how to fight? I understand she would have learned about the Oni masks because the royal family had a mask of deception, but how did she know how to use them or what they really did? How did she do anything? She can just do anything, and her twist just comes completely out of nowhere. She is a twist villain for the sake of a twist villain. And as I've already stated, that never works ever. The one twist villain I could think of off the top of my head that works would be, I don't know, Water Noose and Monsters, Inc. That's a good twist villain, because in retrospect, it makes sense, but he was still not obviously a villain. Yet he also tied into the larger plot of the other villain in the movie. And yeah, since that had an actual villain for the majority of it, that wasn't a twist hero at the end or anything like that, it worked. But this is Ninjago Season 8 we're talking about. Clever writing was definitely not on its list of priorities. Surprising writing was more so on it. Oh boy. Then her motivation. Harumi's motivation is not quite as horrible as her twist of being a villain and how she even did anything, but her motivation to me is awful. Do I like that they went back to the Great Devourer from Season 1? Yes, I do. It's my favorite Ninjago season finale. It's a great episode. But then I just have issues for stuff like, you can see in this elevator, at least one of Harumi's parents would have been able to fit in there. I'd say at least one. Her parents, the only reason both of her parents had to leave her and then they died was just so the plot could function. Because... And you can say, it's just such a small background detail, it doesn't matter, but you clearly see it. This is not hard. And then there's the fact that she thinks she's better than the ninja at being... She thinks Garmadon will protect Ninjago City. Okay. But she sees the things Garmadon does. She brings back to life a psychotic demon that literally he says it right in front of her, and she just smiles as he tells all the police as with his gigantic Titan Colossus, "Surrender, I will raise your city back into the dust from which it came." She's just creating another Great Devourer, except worse. And then she thinks the ninja aren't heroes because of how many times Ninjago has almost fallen under their watch. How many times has Garmanon done bad stuff? A lot of times. Sure, it usually wasn't really against Ninjago City, but it doesn't change the fact that he's a supervillain. And just look at him. Does that guy not look like a villain to you? And also, the ninja did save Ninjago time and time again. They're way better than she is, and again, the ninja had proper training. How did Harumi know how to fight? Where did she learn anything? This is never explained. We're just expected to not think about it, which is ridiculous. And then there's also the fact that her motivation or whatever is... Oh yeah, this was something that always bothered me about Season 2, and that it was funny, I suppose, that nobody knew the ninja helped stop the Great Devourer, except I feel like by now people should, and they did. Nobody saw the ninja help the Great Devourer chase itself until it started biting on its tail so Garmadon could destroy it. The ninja helped save Ninjago City. There's no denying that. So why does she not... How does she not know that? Did she really think Garmadon... If she actually saw what happened, then she would know that Garmadon didn't do all that by himself. It just makes no sense. Her motivation is ridiculous. And then there's Hunted. Harumi is actually pretty good in Hunted. Why? Because she is beaten up constantly. Or rather, bad things happen to her. Nothing she does in the plot of Hunted feels contrived or anything like that. She's still not a great villain or anything, but she serves the plot well. And when I say that she gets berated and things like that, we get to see Garmadon force choke her. She gets yelled at. She gets captured and tied up to a chair, as Dareth mocks her, even though she does escape. And then she gets crushed by a building at the end. Did she die heroically? I mean, yeah, she saved a family from not turning out like her, but the thing is, I'm pretty sure, even though she was questioning Garmadon here, I think she didn't even question Garmadon. She just said, "We need to get out of here," not, "Aren't you taking things too far?" She still died thinking Garmadon was a hero even after seeing all the horrible things she did, even after he almost killed her if not for her being able to get out of it. She's still a horrible villain, and I'm glad that she didn't. She's still evil, and that's how I remember her, because that's how her arc ended. Sadly, it didn't, because Crystallize gave us a pointless return. Oh boy. Do I think they gave an actually good explanation as to how Harumi survived? Yes. The Overlord was just there somehow. Fine, I can understand that. Fair enough. That he rescued her right when she was on the last inches of her life, and then he rescued her. Okay, fair enough. Except, why did he bring Harumi back? To torture Lloyd? Okay, but why does he need Harumi for that? What does she contribute to his whole team? It doesn't make any sense. Harumi can't do anything. I've thought this before. They should have just gotten rid of Mr. F, replaced him with a rebuilt version of General Cryptor, and they should have replaced Harumi with Pythor, meaning you would also have the voice, an extra voice budget for extra voice actor, and make General Cryptor speak, which would be good. I'd want that. Would it be true that we end up getting the same old Lloyd has a villain unmask himself mysteriously, or Pythor would do it again, the masked villain thing, but I would see that less as being unoriginal and more so just calling back to one of Ninjago's most iconic scenes, in my opinion. I would like that. It would also make more sense for Pythor to betray the Overlord at the end, because Harumi is supposed to be an evil psychopath that tortured Lloyd and left him mentally scarred for the rest of his life. And now she's just... So she finds out that the Overlord turned Garmadon evil by planting the Great Devourer there. And I guess she wants to stop the Overlord because he's evil, but What here is the Overlord doing that's any more different from what Garmadon was doing in Season 9? He's pretty much just getting results quicker. What, because he was hacking Garmadon? But it doesn't make any sense because she's thinking that you're thinking, oh, because the Overlord sent the Great Devourer, but the Overlord didn't create the Great Devourer. He didn't cause her parents to die. Then Pythor did, which makes you question, why is she working with Pythor then? That makes even less sense. Or why? Um, so it's about Look, it just doesn't. I don't know. I don't losing my train of thought, but this just makes no sense. And to be fair, pretty much everybody has complained about Harumi and Crystallized. Except I don't think people go deep enough. They just say she's here just to be here, which it's true. And why did they try to redeem her at the end though? The "it's okay, she's with us now" line is awful. Lloyd just sees her do one good thing, which could be interpreted as her just not wanting to die, and that automatically makes her good now. Ever heard of "the enemy of my enemy is my friend"? I guess these writers didn't. And just that Harumi should not be remembered as a redeemed villain. Ninjago already has that in the form of Garmadon, and Garmadon has way more nuances and complexity than pretty much any character in the entirety of the series. Harumi is a nothing. She's stupid and she's annoying, and just I think season 12 would have been a good final spot for her. Also, I don't even know if I like that episode that much though, because it's a good one where Lloyd fights the digital version of Harumi that was scanned from it. Harumi in his mind was scanned, and then it made him face a digital recreation of her. Except Lloyd didn't get any closure from that. He didn't finally accept what happened with Harumi and to just move on from it. He was still just as messed up as ever, and now it's just even worse. In conclusion, Harumi is Ninjago's worst villain. You could say that you really think she's worse than Asphyra? Yes, I do, because Asphyra is not a lame twist villain. Asphyra does not have motivations that make no sense, and Asphyra is not a complete idiot. Asphyra may be annoying and unoriginal, but she's not stupid. She was still able to get results in ways that didn't feel super contrived or anything. Or other villains that aren't very good, like Nauticon. Nauticon is only not a good villain because the only reason he's even able. Well, Nauticon is smart, that's true. The only reason he was able to do anything is because the ninja were made idiots so that plot could happen. Same thing applies to Season 8, really. Well, the ninja aren't idiots here. They hardly use their powers, which is stupid because if they have powers, why not use them? If they use their powers, the season would have been over super quickly, which I guess is why they hardly use their powers. But then just write well. They were able to do 5 seasons of perfection straight, and as I've said, season 9, Harumi was good in season 9 because season 9 was very well written and well paced. It was Ninjago's last perfect season because yeah, I do believe a lot of the seasons of Ninjago are perfect. But Harumi is just a total mess of a character. How this character has so many fans is beyond me. And again, how am I the only person who's ever thought how did a 16-year-old somehow assemble a super powerful biker gang cult? Comment down below, because I'm sure you people will, about how much this video stinks and I'm stupid. Yeah, I can't wait to see that, but I'd like to hear if anyone actually agrees with me, or thinks I made some valid points. My next video is going to be if you notice, if you've been following my channel, I deleted my review of How to Train Your Dragon 1 because I rewatched it recently. I've got a lot more to say, and the review won't be as rushed, so I'm redoing my review of How to Train Your Dragon 1. So, that's all for now, and as always, keep on juicing!